What is an unappreciated or forgotten song from the 90s? Most of the early 90s output from The Wedding Present, most of the songs off the self-titled album The Butterfly Album by House of Love, Insomnia by Faithless, Bjork's 90s solo stuff, the Armand van Helden remix of Spin Spin Sugar, Calm Watch, VBQF5 Kate Go by Sneaker Pimps, Babylon Zoo Spaceman, Veruca Salt Shutterbug Straight Sound of the Bell, Duncan Sheik Barely Breathing, Chemical Brothers Setting Sun, The Prodigy No Good Start the Dance Voodoo People, Pitch Shifter Genius, KMFDM Ultra Drug Against War, Souls of Mischief 93 Till Infinity, Eric B and Rakim Juice Know the Ledge, Leaders of the New School International Zone Coaster Remix, Tribe Called Quest featuring Leaders of the New School Scenario Remix, Lords of the Underground Here Come the Lords, Deeper Shade of Soul Urban Dance Squad, Always the Last to Know Del Amitri, the entirety of Big Head Todd and the Monsters' Sister Sweetly album, Would I Lie to You? Charles and Eddie, A Girl Like You Edwyn Collins, Tennessee Arrested Development, The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead Ecstasy, Every Generation Got Its Own Disease Fury in the Slaughterhouse, Smash Mouth Waste. They had way bigger hits, but To Be That was unambiguously their best song. Also the entire album Truck Stop Jug Hot by Hot Sauce Johnson, which by all accounts should have been huge but got screwed over by their record label being bought out or something, and so it never got the proper distribution it deserved. Urban Dance Squad Deeper Shade of Soul, Liz Phair Whip Smart, Urge Overkill Positive Bleeding, Dig Believe Don't Know If It Counts. Don't hear enough people gush about Jamiroquai. The track Virtual Insanity is incredible, and feels like it could have come out at any point between 96 and now. Typically don't pick up on an artist's voice when the instrumental is so good, but he's got a timeless pop quality to his singing. Light Comes Out of Black Rob Halford with Pantera. The version on Halford's Live Insurrection is superior to the studio version. I first heard it on a live album, and learning later that it was written for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer soundtrack almost ruined the album for me. Black Metallic or Crank from Catherine Wheel. It's sad that this band will probably never get back together despite the Gen Z shoegaze revival, since the singer now makes millions restoring and modding classic Porsches. Long Way Down Goo Goo Dolls. Found Out About You Follow You Down Allison Road Gin Blossoms. Rosalia Better Than Ezra. Girlfriend Matthew Sweet. Closer to Freebo Deans. Into Your Arms Lemonheads. Sonny Came Home Sean Colvin. Backwater Meat Puppets. Whoever You Are by Gegita. It's a great catchy one-hit wonder song that I never hear in the grocery store like a lot of others from the 90s. One of the guys from the band did go on to be a huge pop songwriter though. In the Meantime by Space Hog. I'd completely forgotten about this song until I happened to hear it recently. Damn, I Wish I Was Your Love by Sophie B. Hawkins. I know this one may not be forgotten, but I heard it again too recently. Have a new love for it. 6 Underground Sneaker Pimps. When I heard that song again recently a few years ago, it felt familiar, like I knew I heard it growing up, but it was like hearing it for the first time. Really exudes that one specific type of 90s vibes for me. Just amazing. Sponge Plowed. Tori Amos Caught a Light Sneeze. Garbage One Crush. Catherine Wheel Judy Staring at the Sun. Stabbing Westward Save Yourself. Fuel Hemorrhage in My Hands. Semisonic Singing in My Sleep. Sneaker Pimps 6 Underground. Only Shallow My Bloody Valentine. Lots of favorites from the 90s, but that one immediately springs to mind as forgotten but not necessarily who know that recognize that album as perhaps the epitome of shoegaze. How Does Nobody Accept Me seem to remember standing outside a broken phone booth with Money in My Hand by Primitive Radio Gods. It's only one of the best songs of the decade and one of the greatest one-hit wonders of all time. Iris by Live. The Felix of Your Truth Will Always Break It. And the iris of your eye, always shake it. And the army's eye, I have created will always hate it. Will always bait you in until I take their flags. Slash Your Tires by Luna. Empire State by Mercury Rev. Blue Line Swinger by Yo La Tango. I grew up in St. Louis, so I'm not sure if they were big outside of STL since they were from there, but Gravity Kills. Their entire first album is good, but I think Guilty is the one people would recognize. Davina Don't You Want It? Personally, I find most of the music of 90s rave culture incredibly hit and miss, but this is just a genuinely good song and I don't know how it isn't more famous. 90s Metallica Load to Reload albums are pretty special to Spotify and no one else mentioned it, so that my runner-up is Daylight Science. Daft Punk isn't really forgotten. Cheers. Band Fastbacks. Their best songs: K Street, Just Say, Gone to the Moon, Impatience, Believe Me Never, In the Summer, On the Wall, Went for a Swim, Time and Matter Remix, and It Begins by Counting Crows on August, and Everything After. Whole album is great, but Mr. Jones is one of the only songs played even on 90s stations nowadays. Damn I Wish I Was Your Lover by Sophie B. Hawkins. Cannonball by The Breeders. The One and Only by Chesney Hawkes. Hippie Chick by Soho. Stop by Jane's Addiction. Building a Mystery by Sarah McLachlan. It's spooky and lovely and got thoroughly overshadowed by I Will Remember You and her other SPCA commercial bangers. I feel like a lot of Live's big hits are kind of forgotten because the nature of their name makes them harder to stumble upon in search engines and algorithms. The way Fastball. Especially when you listen to the entire album. Couple other bangers. Also when you look up what the song is about. Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hand by Primitive Radio Gods. Does anyone remember Mouth by Meryl Bainbridge? I was obsessed with this song. I already had a pretty rad 90s playlist, but thanks to this post I now have a new one. For me it's Better Days by Citizen King. It's amazing how many of these songs can be found on the most common 90s alternative or rock or even some pop playlists radios. I Gotcha Open by Black Moon has all the features of a classic 90s East Coast boom bap song but doesn't get that much attention. I Pretend That I'm Glad You Went Away. These four walls closing more every day and I'm dying inside and nobody knows it but me. Lol. I'm going with the obscure. Whoever You Are Gaggy Ah. Scooby Snacks Fun Lovin' Criminals. 6 Underground Sneaker Pimps. Diddy Paperboy. I would get the background hook stuck in my head all the time. Took me years to track that song down. I always thought Back to Good by Matchbox 20 should have gotten way more love back in the day. Phenomenal song. A Hot Time in the Old Town is a ragtime song, composed in 1896 by Theodore August Metz with lyrics by Joe Hayden. How are all these forgotten when more than half of them are on my workout playlist? Damn, I'm getting old. Shinobi v Dragon Ninja. Written 1999 I think, but if not close. And, is it okay to still love the track? Well, regardless of genre, I found practically nothing from American music that I would like to remember. Dreams by Kylie Minogue is the best song on her best album, and it deserves more respect than it got. Home Stars. Collective Soul. She Gathers Rain. Toadie's Possum Kingdom. Blur. Girls and Boys. Counting Crows are a time capsule to me. The Mr. Jones acoustic version is one of my favorites. Sing with Sebastian. Shut Up Sleep With Me. FYI, great podcast tracks 60 songs that explain the 90s. Goes into deep dives of a lot of these. 6 Underground by Sneaker Pimps is a favorite of mine I don't often hear people talk about. Better Than Nothing. Jennifer Tynan. Blue on Black by Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Incredible blues guitarist, put out a radio banger. Legend of a Cowgirl by Imani Coppola. For people in the US, almost the entirety of the Manic Street Preachers' 90s masterpieces. I rarely hear anyone mention Our Lady Peace despite their hits. Clumsy. Superman's Dead. And It Begins by Counting Crows. Down by the Water by PJ Harvey. Mojo Pin by Jeff Buckley. The entirety of the unauthorized biography of Reinhold Messner album by Ben Folds 5. Ugly Kid Joe. Everything About You. Alien Bush. One of admittedly many songs that can make me cry at the drop of a dime. Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hand by Primitive Radio Gods. Not forgotten, but you can make anyone remember it just by typing. YY You Spin. Pets by Porno for Pyros reminds me of how a sea might hopefully keep us as pets. YMMV. What I Didn't Know by Athenaeum. Stay by Shakespeare's Sister. All quiet and sweet and then just ominous and evil. Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hand by Primitive Radio Gods. All for You. David Bearwald. New Mistake. Jellyfish. You, My Flower. Afghan Wakes. Sleeping Satellite. Tasmin Archer. The whole Okima Crazy album by That Petrol Emotion. Most other songs, really. Found Out About You by the Gin Blossoms. The Way by Fastball. Sad Song by Oasis. Billy Myers. Kiss the Rain. Folk Implosion. Natural One. The Beloved. Sweet Harmony. Desperately Wanting. Better Than Ezra. Plus about 30 other songs from them. 3am Eternal. The KLF. The Buck Pets. Pearls. Stockabo. Here We Go. Two Princes. Spin Doctors. I have to have this on all playlists I make. Archers of Low. Flowest Part is Free. Web in Front. Harnessed in Slums. Teardrop. Massive Attack. Sunshine. Daria G. Uptown Venga Boys. Dudu Brown. Two Hyde Brothers and a Dog. Niche for sure, but great. Po Angry Johnny. Baruch Assault Seether. Magna Pop. Open the Door. Miss Troy's a Flat Beat. Boom Boom Boom. Out Here Brothers. Let Me Hear You Say Woo, Anything by the Toadies, but special mention to Ibron and Tyler, Crash Test Dummies was my most played song of 2023. Stars Home, Sick of Myself Matthew Sweet, Run Collective Soul, Sex and Candy Marcy Playground, Counting Blue Cars Dishwalla, Sullivan by Caroline Spine, off the album Monsoon, Good Shit, Detachable Penis King Mist, Edit Missile, Dang Fat Fingers, Screaming Trees Nearly Lost You, Cowboy Mouth Jenny Says, The Way Fastball. I love this one-hit wonder from the 90s. 7475 by the Connells, Kaleidoscope Skies by Jamspoon, Once Upon a Time by Robert Bradley's Blackwater Surprise. Lynn Steele My Sunshine is a banger and always will be. Any song from the band Failure, underrated grunge band. Lump the Presidents of the United States of America. Lump the Presidents of the United States of America. Good thread because I actually don't know any of these.